Good evening. You're watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Chloe Feng. Our top stories tonight. Commerce Secretary Algernon Yau says firms in the Middle East and elsewhere are looking to invest in the city. Hong Kong's search and rescue team members get a warm welcome on their return from Turkey. And 5 police officers in the U.S. city of Memphis say they did not murder a man who was badly beaten. Businesses in the Middle East are keen to invest in Hong Kong and the Greater Bay Area, according to Commerce Chief Algernon Yau. He also said dozens of other leading companies are interested, but did not name any because of commercial sensitivity.
Speaking on a radio show, Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development Algernon Yau described the recent visit to the Middle East by a high-level Hong Kong government delegation as a journey of friendship. The tour, led by Chief Executive John Lee, sparked interest in the Gulf states to invest in Hong Kong's financial sector and in the development of the Greater Bay Area. Business leaders from Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates will soon visit Hong Kong to explore opportunities, Yau said. Many of the interested parties are involved in infrastructure, innovation, finance, and logistics, he said. Yau also noted the progress made in attracting talent and investment, particularly in high-tech and artificial intelligence. Those cooperations have not yet been included in the government's goal of attracting 1,100 enterprises to Hong Kong by 2025, he said. Yau hinted that there have been positive talks with key enterprises, many of which are leaders in their sector. He said the names cannot be disclosed at this time because of commercial sensitivity. Yau predicted that the local economy will revive in the second half of the year, following the launch of the Hello Hong Kong tourism campaign.
Members of a search and rescue team have been hailed as heroes on their return from Turkey, where they saved 4 earthquake victims. Chief Executive John Lee and Turkey's top diplomat in the city were at the airport to welcome them home. Katrina Lau reports.
There was joyous family reunions at the airport as 59 members of Hong Kong's search and rescue team returned from a 9-day mission in earthquake-stricken Turkey. Chief Executive John Lee greeted each one when they arrived around midnight after a stopover in Beijing. There were hugs and flowers from Turkish Consul General Peyami Kalyancu.
The magnitude of this disaster has created a humanitarian crisis like no other, and the destruction it has caused is unprecedented. We cannot thank you all enough for this heroic work and dedication.
Lee also praised the Hong Kong rescuers.
The team showed no fear when faced with difficult conditions in the quake-stricken areas and successfully rescued 4 survivors.
The chief executive extended his condolences to quake victims who lost family members and friends.
I'm deeply saddened by the destruction caused by the deadly earthquake in Turkey, and my thoughts are with everyone who is mourning the loss of their loved ones.
As families rejoiced, one member said he really missed his family. The Hong Kong team comprised 49 members of the Fire Services Department, 2 doctors and 2 nurses from the Department of Health, and 6 officers from the Security Bureau and Immigration. They and 2 sniffer dogs worked in the province of Hatay, one of the worst-hit areas. Katrina Lau, HKIBC.
The death toll in the earthquake that struck Turkey and Syria 12 days ago has risen to over 45,000. A teenage survivor in Turkey recalled his struggles while recording a farewell video, thinking that he would never be rescued from the rubble. Daha Erdem asked for forgiveness in the video, which he recorded on his phone. The 17-year-old and his family were saved, but lost everything and are sheltering in a tent. There was confirmation, meanwhile, that Ghana footballer Christine Atsu was killed in the quake. His body was found in Antakya. Atsu played for a Turkish club after a spell in England with Everton, Chelsea, and Newcastle. 5 former police officers in the U.S. city of Memphis have pleaded not guilty to the murder of a man who died after a severe beating. The defendants followed their lawyers as they filed into court. All 5 who are on bail will appear in court again in May. They face 60 years in jail if found guilty of murdering Tyree Nichols. The officers were sacked and charged after videos of the assault last month were released. 29-year-old Nichols was driving when he was stopped for no apparent reason and hit with a baton, pepper spray, and a stun gun. He died 3 days later.
I know my son is gone. I know I'll never see him again. But we have to start this process of justice right now. And I want each and every one of those police officers to be able to look me in the face. They haven't done that yet. They couldn't even do that today. They didn't even have the courage to look at me in my face after what they did to my son.
China's top diplomat Wang Yi has denounced Washington's handling of the balloon controversy. Speaking in Germany, where he met Chancellor Olaf Scholz a day earlier, Wang said the United States acted hysterically and had violated international norms. The veteran diplomat asked whether Washington would shoot down all balloons flying around the world. Wang, who also met German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock, said the U.S. is using all means to discredit China. The U.S. has ended the search for the debris of the Chinese balloon it shot down earlier this month. The remains of what Washington called a spy craft are being taken to an FBI laboratory for analysis. China says the balloon was blown off course while on a scientific mission. The White House, meanwhile, has been asked to clarify whether one of 3 objects down by the U.S. warplanes over North America recently was a hobby group's balloon costing $12. The missile that shot the balloon cost $400,000.
We just can't confirm those reports or what the remains of that balloon might actually end up being, and we haven't recovered it, so it's very difficult till you can get your hands on something to be able to tell. And because of where it is over Lake Huron, I mean, we all have to accept the possibility that we may not be able to recover it.
The U.S. Department of Labor has found over 100 children illegally employed by a slaughterhouse cleaning firm. Wisconsin-based Packers Sanitation Services employed at least 102 children from 13 to 17 years old to work overnight shifts at 13 meat processing facilities in 8 states. Investigators found children working with hazardous chemicals and cleaning dangerous meat processing equipment. Reuters news agency says illegal child labor is widespread in the United States. Protesters have greeted the first Chinese official to visit Taiwan in 3 years. But the visit, at the invitation of the Taipei city government, was welcomed by other groups.
Dozens of people demonstrated outside Songshan Airport in Taipei City to tell Li Xiaodong that he's not welcome. Li is the deputy head of the Shanghai office of China's Taiwan Affairs Office. He was invited by the Taipei city government to attend the Lantern Festival. Li did not answer questions from reporters as he and his group were whisked away under heavy security. He is the first Chinese official to visit Taiwan in 3 years, during which time cross-strait tensions soared and the People's Liberation Army conducted exercises around the island. Wang Xinhuan, chairman of Taiwan's State Building Party, said the protesters would not be fooled by what he called China's united front lines. Other groups, however, welcomed Li's visit, and according to Taiwanese media reports, there were clashes between the two sides. China has refused to speak to Taiwan's government since Tsai Ing-wen, whom Beijing regards as a separatist, became president 7 years ago. But city-to-city exchanges continued until they were interrupted by COVID.
Back in Hong Kong, a scam detecting mobile app has been launched to tackle rising fraud cases. This comes as police recorded a 45% surge in scams last year, Katrina Lau reports.
The scam meter was first introduced in October last year on the police cybersecurity website Cyber Defender. Its mobile app, Scam Meter Plus, was launched on Wednesday, ahead of today's launch ceremony. Police Chief Raymond Siu said the app is part of the Cybersecurity and Technology Crime Bureau's efforts to raise awareness on online fraud. There were almost 28,000 fraud cases last year, with victims losing a total of $4.8 billion. The number of cases jumped 45% from 2021. Siu added that collaboration with telecom service providers can help reduce phone scams. On a radio show today, the commissioner also commented on mass gatherings. Since social distancing rules were lifted in December, police have issued notices of no objection for 13 large-scale assemblies. They included 6 fundraising walks, 4 Lunar New Year celebrations, 2 religious activities, and a recycling promotion event. No application for large-scale demonstrations has been received yet. Siu said national security and public order are crucial factors when approving mass gatherings. Katrina Lau, HKIBC.
Hong Kong's first modular housing project was dismantled today, and the units will be moved to Tai Po for a similar scheme. The transitional housing project in Shan Shui Po operated between August 2020 and November last year. The move is expected to take about a month. The 89 units will be sent to a warehouse in Hong Shui Q for checks before being relocated to Tai Po. Smaller parts, such as screws, can be reused, but drainage pipes will be replaced due to hygiene concerns. The annual Hong Kong Flower Show will be in full bloom next month after a 3-year COVID-induced hiatus. The 10-day event at Victoria Park starts on March the 10th. Bliss in Bloom is this year's theme, with hydrangeas taking center stage. The show will feature potted plants from overseas and the mainland, floral decorations, and colorful garden landscape. There will be live lighting and musical performances every night starting at 7:30 p.m. Tickets cost $14 each, but senior citizens, students, and people with disabilities will pay only half, and nothing at all between Monday and Friday. On to the weather now. It will be a warm, sunny day tomorrow. Temperatures will range between 19 and 27 degrees, but the mercury will fall back below 20 degrees on Tuesday. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That's our main news for Saturday night. Join us for more news at 11. I'm Chloe Feng. Thanks for watching. Good night.